Hey guys, Christopher Yaks, Aquascapes of Michiana. Get ready to love your backyard. Well, we are here. I'm up here at the wetland getting ready to finish right here on this edge that you guys are seeing right there. And we are right at that point. Kind of going along with my how-to series on, obviously I've taught you guys how to patch holes, and we don't dig vertical, we dig horizontal whenever we're fixing a collapse and all that kind of stuff. But one of the biggest misconceptions that a lot of DIY pond builders or beginning pond builders, pond building contractors get into is finishing. Finishing is one of the biggest things that will either make your project look like crap or make it look nice in the years to come, because we promote quality. That's what we do here at Aquascapes of Michiana. I want this thing to look almost, obviously settling and stuff like that, I want this thing to look pretty much damn near the exact same 5 years from now as it does when we first fire this thing up, other than the plants that are maturing and growing into and naturalizing all of our hard edges and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things that you can do to ensure that is making sure that you finish properly. A lot of people, a lot of new guys, a lot of landscapers will just take their liner and they'll just flop it out here on top, and they'll throw a whole bunch of rock on top of it, and then it's done. But the problem with that is you can kind of see right in this area, if you just do that, we've got a lot of spaces, a lot of holes, a lot of different things that all of this dirt will then wash after, rainstorm after rainstorm, after snow, melt, freeze, thaw, whatever. A lot of this dirt is going to end up in the pond, and it's going to make the pond look like crap. It's going to grow algae. It's going to, this is all algae needs. A little bit of algae, a little bit of sunlight, a little bit of warmth in the water, and boom, we got an algae bloom. That is what grows algae right there. So the best way to do your edging is to first, we cut our underlayment back behind here, okay? And we kind of tuck it in. Not a whole bunch, but we kind of tuck it in like that. Then we take our excess underlayment and we cut it below our liner. We don't want underlayment going over the liner, because underlayment will wick water out of a pond. So when you have this done and finished, if you have underlayment outside of the liner, it will literally wick water out. It'll literally just draw water out onto the other side, outside of the pond or the wetland filter or whatever you guys got. So you have to cut this. You still want to keep it to where it is still above the edge, because remember, we want to protect this liner from the rock edge and all these kinds of things. So we still want to keep our underlayment up like this, but barely. We want to cut it just like that. And then what we want to do is we want to take our liner and we want to go ahead and fold it. Yeah, sorry, I had to move the camera. I'm here by myself today. But we want to fold our liner just like this. And then what we can do from there is take our dirt and push it. We can take our dirt and push it right to the back and backfill this all the way up just below that edge. What that is going to do is, number one, what that is going to do is that extra folded piece of liner that you got, in case some settling happens in a couple spaces and you get a low edge in 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, you still have liner that you can pull up and refinish in order to still make this watertight and to keep dirt and other external things out of the pond. That's another thing that a lot of DIYers and a lot of landscapers, people who don't know what they're doing, do, is they think that they've got to cut the liner exactly where they want it. Well, what they're not taking in consideration is settling and all of that kind of thing. Settling, backfilling, all that kind of stuff. You have disturbed virgin soil, so this whole thing is going to settle 2-3 inches over the course of a few years And if you have just enough liner, if you cut it and you cut yourself just enough liner as it is, you are not preparing for the future, and you are going to have a problem. And that's when your clients are going to end up calling me, and then I got to tell them that either A, I got to dig all this out and redo it, and it's going to cost thousands and thousands of dollars, or B, we're going to have to rebuild the whole thing, because that's not the only issue that we have. So with that being said, that is how you finish, and I will show you guys a little bit more on what it looks like. Let me get down here. And that is how you guys finish. Too many people out there are doing it lazy, just flapping the liner down, doing a 3-foot wide, basically linear gravel line all the way around it, and it washes everything out. It takes away from the character of your boulders. It takes away the shape of the pond. It basically whitewashes the entire thing. I had a project last year that we did, and it was absolutely amazing, had so much character and all that stuff, and they had they were supposed to have a landscaper who's worked with me before, who knows how I build, and they knew how to do the landscaping. They had gotten rid of him after I had left, and they hired somebody who can do it cheaper. Yeah, we've all heard that. We've all seen the memes on, oh, I know somebody who can do it cheaper. My favorite one is the Metallica song on the air horns. That is absolutely hilarious. If you guys haven't seen it, go look at it. But what they did was they hired a cheaper landscaper after I was gone, and that's what they did. They put in rose bushes, they put in all of these ugly plants, and they did a 5-foot basically a 5-foot gravel bed all the way around the whole thing. And if you look at the pictures of when we were done, and we tried landscaping it a little bit ourselves because I had the manpower and the time, compared to what they did when they were finished, looks completely different. The entire water feature lost its character, it lost its appeal, it lost all of the things that we worked so hard to give it, as far as the character and the structure and the cool little curves and stuff like that, completely whitewashed off those rocks. So don't do it, guys. Just don't do it. And this is what it's going to look like when you're done. So that right there is exactly what your edging should look like. Now you can see that we've stopped right here. We've kind of left it, and we've got more liner up here because we're tying a waterfall into right here. But this is what it's supposed to look like when you are done. That is what it's supposed to look like. And then landscaping goes on this side. And here's an example. We just had some rock because we had to hold all of this down. But that is what it's supposed to look like. We need to get a rock right there, because you guys can see that's a little bit of a washout. So we need to get a rock right there to hold all of that back. But this is what it's supposed to look like when you're done finishing. That's what it's supposed to look like right there. Now we've got a paver patio coming right up to the back of all of this, and we've kind of left this space open because I always leave any of my couplings or connections or anything like that, I always leave those exposed, because I want to see if anything didn't dry right, or we bent the flex pipe too much and we didn't get a good seal on it. And the worst part about that is if you bury it under 6 inches of dirt, you're not going to find out right when you're doing your thing, and I'm having them stay back until we can fire this whole thing up. But once again, this is what it's supposed to look like when you're finished. Look at the curvature that you're seeing on this. You see all of those curves and all of that interest and all of that character going around this whole thing like that. The last 10% of any project will make or break it. It doesn't matter. Look at all this work that we've done. All of these huge boulders that we've set on this project, all of these great drops that we're gonna have, all of this doesn't mean a thing if you don't do the right things right for the last 10%. The last 10% of a project will make or break it. Does not matter what you do in the first 90, it's always the last 10. So guys, once again, Christopher Yaks, Aquascapes, Michiana. don't be lazy. Get creative, do the right things right, because if it's worth doing right, it's worth doing right. All right, see you guys, have a good day.